So after trying for several years on our own, we went to a fertility clinic and finally were successful after a round of IVF. We had our 20-week ultrasound, found out we were having a girl, but also found out that I had a shortened cervix and I needed to go on to bed rest immediately. When I was just past 40 weeks, I started having contractions, so I was getting excited because I was ready to give birth. In the following hours after having Anna, I started to get a really bad headache, and I started feeling nauseous. My blood pressure was at numbers that I knew weren't great. I was having double vision, spots in my vision, and I just had pain all over. I mean, beyond the C-section, beyond the breastfeeding, I was just exhausted and in pain. Meanwhile, my blood pressure was rising. I kept saying, I really don't think this is normal. They just said it was all a physical manifestation of my postpartum anxiety. And I remember hearing this noise that I will never forget the tone, that noise that I heard right before I had a seizure and passed out.
Driving her to the hospital with a newborn baby, I was terrified because I didn't know what was going to come next. And you're tired and you're scared and you don't know who to turn to because the doctors that you relied on to take care of you completely let you down.
And I stayed for observation for 3 days. So it was 3 days without treatment for what I would later learn was eclampsia. Postpartum preeclampsia that progressed to eclampsia because it was untreated and led to seizures. When I was in the hospital under observation for those 3 days, not knowing what's wrong, my husband couldn't be with me. My husband was with our baby, my newborn baby, my 5-day-old baby that I'm supposed to be with, that I'm supposed to be bonding with, that I can't breastfeed, that I can't pump for. I can't do any of the things that I'm supposed to do for her. Everything went perfectly, and I had a healthy baby boy. And then on day 5, the day I was going to be discharged, I woke up with a terrible headache. The same worst headache of your life feeling that I had after my first pregnancy. And I immediately knew something wasn't right. So we went home. And of course, I was really tired, and I went and I laid down. I took a nap for maybe about 3 hours. And then I remember sitting up, and I remember feeling like I had a weight on my chest, like something was keeping me laying down. And then I remember breathing in, it was like I couldn't get air.
Then we pack up everybody, so 2 kids and Sarah, and we get into the car and we go back to the same hospital where she gave birth.
We were in the emergency room for about 4 or 5 hours until I was brought back. And then I learned I was in congestive heart failure. Because my symptoms were dismissed and I progressed to congestive heart failure, progressed to preeclampsia, there's lasting effects to that. I'm at increased risk of heart disease. I wasn't able to get my endurance back or get my lung capacity back for a full year or 2. I recognize that I'm alive. I recognize that the color of my skin and my insurance status and my education statistically mean I have a better chance at survival both before, during, and after pregnancy. 700 plus women die every year having children, and 50,000 are near misses, and I'm one of those numbers, twice. I support the March of Dimes because they advocate for mothers before, during, and after pregnancy. And stories like mine need to be heard. March of Dimes is giving me and others a platform to share these stories and to bring attention to the very real maternal health crisis in the US. And it's through these stories and it's through the work that March of Dimes does will ultimately help to change the system.